The moon was full and shining bright, and there I was in the heat of the night. I found this place I'd like to go, even though it's far from home. It all made sense as I watched the crowd, the things I heard. This place was wild. The lights were low, people everywhere, sounds of love screaming through the air. It was there I fell in love. It was there I found my passion flowing, and far from my mind was the world I left behind. I used to think how it would be to find someone who needed me, and it was there my dream came true, 'cause it was there that I met you. So many days had come and gone, I almost thought I'd write a song, and then I found this crazy place where I met you to end the race. It was there I fell in love. It was there.
Good evening and welcome back to Memories of a Musician. I'm your host, Vito DeSalva. Great to have you back and tuning in with our show again. Thank you. I appreciate it. Tonight, we have a very special guest. Rachelle Durkin is been a good friend. I'm going to say from the early 2000s I met her. And we've done some recording together, and we've done some shows together, different things. We've sat at my piano in my home and done sing-alongs and whatever. It's been fun. And she's phenomenal. You're going to see what a vocalist that she is. And I got to tell you, she is from Perth, Australia, and she is there now. And so when we're doing the show, I'm tuning in with her. We have a 12-hour time difference, but I'm tuning in with her in Perth, Australia. So before I bring her on, I want to show you a picture, first of all. In this picture here, you'll see Rachelle and I sitting at my piano. This was in my home in South Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Rachelle came, I believe it was 2017. She came to do a Pittsburgh opera, Don Giovanni, and that was in 2017. And she had a day off, so she came to our home for dinner. And we had dinner together. And then, like I said, we sat at the piano and did a lot of songs and things. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And so I had that picture. I wanted to share that with you. And, one of the things that when I first met Rachelle that absolutely amazed me, I know a lot of pop singers. I know a lot of jazz singers. I know a lot of classical singers and opera singers. But it's a rarity to have someone who can do classical music and then turn around and sing a pop tune and do both very, very well. And so to demonstrate that, I have a very short video that I'm going to show you that shows you the two voices that Rachelle has here.
I feel you breathing inside me, for I know when you are far, you're ever near. Don't hear my words, feel my heartbeat. How could our song disappear? And how could I be anything else but yours? Here in my heart is a dream for you.
And here you go. Now that's two different voices completely. And so I'm going to read just a paragraph or two about Rachelle in her bio, but I have another little video where she really talks about her journey, and I'm going to play that for you in a moment. So I'd like to give you a little background on Rachelle Durkin. Australian-American soprano Rachelle Durkin began her career in Australia, winning 3 of that country's major vocal competitions: the Herald Sun Aria, the Marianne Matthey Scholarship, and the Metropolitan Opera Award. Immediately following her successes, she flew to New York City, where she was a recipient of the prestigious Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions and was accepted into the Linderman Young Artist Development Program. Rachelle subsequently became an established solo artist at the Met, singing leading roles for many years, most notably Norina in Don Pasquale, Lisa in La Sonnambula, Clorinda in La Cenerentola, Miss Shelson in Philip Glass's Satyagraha, Frasquita in Carmen, Masha in Pique Dame, First Flower Maiden in Parsifal, also Salzburg Festival under the baton of Maestro Levine, and Young Girl in Moses and Aaron. 2021-2022 engagements included Titania in A Midsummer Night's Dream and Governess, The Turn of the Screw in Adelaide, Morgana in Alcina in Canberra, and Musetta La Boheme in Perth in 2023. She returned to Opera Australia as Mrs. Shelson, to Perth as Musetta, and was also a soloist with the Sydney, Tasmanian, and West Australian Symphony Orchestras. In 2024, she sings Donna Anna Don Giovanni in Hawaii and is soloist for West Australian Opera, Opera Queensland, Australian Baroque, and the Australian Youth Orchestra. A highly adept interpreter in a wide range of repertoire spanning from the Baroque to modern masterpieces, Rachelle's other noteworthy performances include Kumada in John Adams' A Flowering Tree for the Perth International Arts Festival, the title role in Alcina, Armida in Rinaldo, and Angelica in Orlando for Opera Australia. Rachelle received Helpman Award nominations for all 4 of the aforementioned appearances. She received her 5th nomination for Haydn's Armida with Pinchgut Opera. Other highlights have included Romance at the Met, opera's most romantic moments, soloist in Beethoven's Symphony No. 9 with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra and West Australian Symphony Orchestra, performances with Brian Terfel and Lisa McCune at the Leeuwin Estate Winery, and gala concerts with Placido Domingo and Jose Carreras. She's hanging out with some pretty good people. I'm so happy for her. And I want to play, this is really going to give you a good introduction to how she got to where she got.
Hello, my name is Rachelle Durkin. I am a soprano and I am from Perth, Western Australia. In my childhood, I grew up around the house singing. I was an 80s chick, so I grew up listening to Michael Jackson, Olivia Newton-John, Madonna, and we didn't really have opera in the house, but I always found myself singing a lot. You know, I did school bands and everything like that, and I sang in a couple of talent quests in shopping centres and won a couple of things like that. And I got into singing a lot of Judy Garland and musical numbers. Then this lovely lady, Meg Mitchell, heard me and said, look, I think she would be great singing, you know, classical music as well. So my father looked up a opera singer, and I decided to go and get singing lessons from Ronald McQueen in Perth. And he heard me and thought, you know, maybe you should, after high school, audition for the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts. So I auditioned for musical theatre. I got through the first round, the first singing round, and then I was called back for dance. And of course, I'd never done a dance lesson in my life. I've got great big long limbs flying all over the place. And so I basically didn't make the cut there. But after having a couple of lessons, operatic lessons, I decided to audition for the Academy of Performing Arts in the classical section. And I got a letter saying, well, look, your theory's not up to scratch. Theory not up to scratch, meaning that I didn't even know what a treble clef was. And so they let me go through to the Diploma of Performing Arts and then the Bachelor of Performing Arts. Back in 2000, I auditioned for the Australian Singing Competition, the Herald Sun Aria Competition, the New York Opera Award for the Opera Foundation, and I believe the one that I won first was in Perth. It was held in Perth, and it was the Marion Marty competition, which was a wonderful experience because all my family were there, and it was the first competition I'd ever won, and I'd just come out of the conservatorium, just come out of university. I didn't really know where I was going or where I was heading, because once you're out, you know, you're out. And I won a great big chunk of money. So I put that in my account right away, and I used it for a very good purpose, and that was when I won the New York Opera Award later on that year, to allow me to go to New York and study and enter the National Council auditions, which is a huge competition, mainly for Americans, American singers, whereupon thousands of entrants enter into this one competition, and I was one of 23 semi-finalists to represent my country, which was wonderful. So I'd gone from Maddington in Perth to the Met. So I then auditioned. I remember it was in front of, you know, the Metropolitan Opera was filled with 4,000 people. I won the competition, so I decided to stay in New York at the time. I got a call from the Metropolitan Opera saying that James Levine, the head of the opera there, is, you know, probably one of the, if not the most famous opera conductors in the world, ended up having a space free to audition for him for the Lindemann Met Young Artist Program. So here I was, I just won 3 competitions, 2000, then did the National Council auditions, and I won that. And then from there, I did an audition for James Levine. And that same day, that same hour, I was told, okay, we want you in the Young Artist Program. I remember screaming. I remember it was, gosh, I think it was like 3 or something in the afternoon there. So I think it was 3 a.m. in Perth. And I said, oh, can I please just, you know, tell my parents? So I called them up, and they were wondering what the hell's going on, you know. But I got into the Met Young Artist Program, Mum and Dad. What? Yeah, I'm moving to New York and I'm living here for 2 years. Then after my second year in the Lindemann Young Artist Program, I was asked to stay on for another year, and I've lived basically in New York ever since. I'm loving what I'm doing, and you know, I'm singing for one of the best opera houses in the world, well, 2. I'm singing for the Metropolitan Opera and the wonderful, iconic, amazing opera house of Sydney Opera House. And without the Marion Marty competition, I certainly wouldn't be here right now.
And there you go. So with that, let's bring Rachelle onto the program. And there she is.
Oh my gosh. Hi, ciao, Vito.
Ciao. How you doing, Rachelle?
I'm great, thank you. Gosh, I look back, I was so young, and lots of and ahs and you know.
I know that was almost 25 years ago.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
different hair colors through the years.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes that's your choice and sometimes not, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mine's going lighter, as you can tell.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's wonderful, and I'm so happy to hear your continuing success, and you're still
Oh, thanks,
busy.
Vito.
And I believe last night you just came back.
No. I've just come home from singing Musetta in La Boheme, Puccini's La Boheme, for the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah.
Sydney Opera Australia.
Yeah, and you just got back last night, right?
Yes, I just got back.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been great. 13. I just sang 13 shows there, and it was a great success. I haven't been back to Sydney and sung at the Opera House for a long time, so it's been a wonderful experience and a great role. Musetta's a fun, cheeky role, so I had a lot of fun.
Good. Well, we love all the Puccini operas. You know that. Lana's from her family's from Pistoia, which is very close to Lucca, which is
Right.
Yeah. So that's a natural there. It's that little video gave us a lot of background about all of the the competitions that took you to where you are. But when you really when would you say that music became a passion for you?
Music was always a passion for me as a kid. I always loved singing.
Okay.
And I was in primary school. There was a music teacher there, and we were just doing choir. And he heard me, and he had asked to hear me privately. And I sang, I think it was Magic by Olivia Newton-John. And he played a little bit on the piano. And he told my parents, "You realize that your daughter can sing and tune and sing very well." But growing up without sort of any music at all, that was rather interesting. So back in the 80s, early 90s, 80s, I would say, I would, the audition tapes you would get with the backing tracks on it. And I would go along to some shopping centres and anything that had talent quests back in the day.
Yeah.
And I won a few of those, singing Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey and stuff like that. And and then after that, I in high school joined a little amateur theatre company called Tivoli Theatre in Applecross, Perth, and they would do a variety show every Friday night, and I would sing a lot of Judy Garland favourites and a lot of old school music theatre stuff. Yeah, the old standards. And in fact, I think I've sat around your piano and sung Somewhere Over the Rainbow many times.
Yeah, for sure.
So I always loved singing, but getting into opera was that was insane that it happened the way it did. I mean, all the stars aligned and a bit of luck and talent.
Yeah. As we go throughout the program, I'm going to pull up different pictures, and you could tell us what these are.
Okay.
Very nice picture. What was that?
Oh, wow, that one. Yeah, that's very nice. That is, I think, for a newspaper in Sydney. That was probably to promote something for Opera Australia.
I see.
Yeah.
And then this picture here, I think that was in.
Oh, that has to be a Donna Anna. Every single time I've sung a Donna Anna in Don Giovanni, I've had a blonde wig. So, yes, I think that is, it's either Pittsburgh or, I'm not quite sure. I've sung a lot of Donna Anna performances, so I'm not quite sure where that one's from.
Okay. And this one here?
This is Norina in Don Pasquale, I love singing comedy roles, comedic roles. So this is Norina in Don Pasquale, and I sang Norina at the Met, as I said, as you had mentioned in my bio. So I was covering Anna Netrebko, and she was ill. So that was the biggest role that I sang at the Met. But this is actually for Opera Australia. in Sydney.
Okay. So you've sung a lot of times the same opera, but with different companies.
Different companies, different productions, completely
Sure.
different wigs, makeup, hair, costume, everything.
And I'm going to show you this one picture here. I just copped this off the video, but we're going to show this video at the end of near the end of the program. But this was the Hong Kong Philharmonic
Yes.
Orchestra, right? And
what a great city. That's with Johannes Fritz conducting.
Yeah, and you were singing I knew, I mean, without even knowing, I mean, I just heard it and I knew it had to be a Johann Strauss waltz, you know.
Yep.
And
Voices of Spring, I think. Voices of Frühlingsstimmen.
Yeah, and you really seem so comfortable even in this setting, being on stage with an orchestra. I would love to see a whole concert with you doing with an orchestra like that. That's great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, very, very comfortable. It's obviously sometimes where my nerves go is that I move a lot.
Yeah, you do. You
on stage, yeah.
We'll see that later too.
Yeah.
I know. And so one more picture I want to show, this one here. Tell us about this.
Oh, that's a picture of Musetta, another Musetta in La Boheme, and this is for the West Australian Opera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in my hometown.
Okay. Let me find where that was. And we're going to remove that from the stage. Okay. So tell us a little bit about, I mentioned in your bio, it's in your bio that you had an experience meeting Placido Domingo and Jose Carreras. Tell us about that.
Yes. Well,
that's
the
pretty
first
heavy duty.
I sang a concert in the Supreme Court Gardens in Perth along the water. It was absolutely stunning. And that was with Carreras.
Uh-huh.
And that was an amazing experience.
So you performed with Carreras, huh?
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been,
and then I sang. Sorry, what'd you say?
That must have been thrilling.
Oh gosh, of course, and nerve-wracking, but that was amazing. And a lot of people remember that. It's funny because I'll go to Perth quite a bit, and I'll have people say, "I remember that concert, all outdoors along the water, a beautiful evening, and we were singing, stuff from the Phantom of the Opera and opera hits, as well as sort of modern stuff as well,
Uh-huh.
and music theatre, yeah."
That's
and then Placido was the first time I met him was I auditioned for him as I was a young artist at the Met. I auditioned for Placido for a competition that he ran called Operalia, and which was held in Washington, D.C. And I met him for the first time at the Met and then went to Washington. I was lucky to get through, and I think I was a finalist in that. And then I sang with him again twice at the Met, once in an opera called Sly by Wolf Ferrari, and then in Parsifal.
Okay.
That was one of the flower maidens in Parsifal.
That's awesome. Yeah. God bless you. That's amazing.
Yes, I've met some pretty special people, and I've sung with Bryn Terfel as well, who's fantastic as well. Sang with him down south in a winery at Lewin Estate Winery, and but also met him in New York as well.
And then you sang with, not only that, you sang with E33.
Oh my gosh, how can we forget?
Yeah.
Sang with you many times.
Can I play a little? I have a little excerpt because you recorded on our very last album, which was called E33, The Next Generation. You were on a few cuts on that album, and I will play a little piece from this here. Let's see. Okay.
Can't wait.
By the way, before I play this, or as I'm playing, I wanted to tell the audience, and I forgot that you sang, in fact, you sang this song at both of our children's, Vito and Gina's weddings. You
Oh
sang
my
at
God.
both weddings too, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we
I
did
remember
this.
that.
Yeah.
I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
Wow.
Oh,
You remember those times, huh?
yes, absolutely.
No, that's fun. That was fun times. And I have another clip that I'll play in a second. I wanted to, how many times, here in America, of course, we have the Metropolitan Opera, which is, probably not only in the United States, but one of the top opera houses in the world, of course. But there's a lot of attention to Sydney Opera House, in part because it's such like you mentioned the word iconic, because of its architecture and sitting on the water and just how it's situated. And then, of course, the acoustics. I have not had the privilege of being inside, but how many operas have you done there at Sydney?
Oh my gosh. I think I started in 2005 or something like that, or maybe earlier. Oh no, it would have been whenever the Ronaldo that you heard before was. Yep. I think that was 2005. Did I say?
Yes.
But since then, I'd say a good 10. And then going along with what you said about the Opera House, there is something so special about that city. You've got to get along one day, you and Lana, to Sydney. That the Opera House, of course, is just spectacular, and also walking along, to work every day. As I was saying, another day at the office as I'm walking into the Opera House, which is amazing.
And I actually have a picture. Can I show this picture?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh
yeah.
yes. I was about to say, all along there is the opera bar and restaurants and everything like that. And the weather toward the end, the first month that I was there, it was raining. So I've just been there for 2 months. And in the second month, just recently, it was beautiful, a good 25 degrees Celsius, so Fahrenheit, what's that? But beautiful. And the harbour, and then the harbour bridge as well, right opposite the Opera House. You can't see there, but a beautiful place to work. And in our dressing rooms as well, we have a view out on the harbour. Is that right? Pretty special. Yeah.
That's cool. That's really nice. Yeah. Well, that's a great picture. And you see all the people that just kind of hang out.
Especially when it's a warm day, you can't move. Yeah, you can't move. And so many tourists. So I think, they get a lot of revenue from tourists who come in and then decide, we may as well go to an opera that night. Or, but the Sydney Symphony is there as well. So, it's pretty busy.
Facility for the symphony.
Yeah, not the same, obviously not the same venue, but in the Opera House.
Okay, good. That's awesome. Before I want to show another one. I remember that when we were doing some work together and things, and you would go off to prepare for an opera. I remember that this was months, sometimes 2 to 3 months of work. One opera, right?
Yeah.
By the time you show up there, and then plus, I can remember you were going to maybe one country to do an opera there. Maybe it was an Italian opera.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, on the plane, you were learning a German opera because that was the next one that you had to do. So you had to start learning a new opera before you even sang the one you were going, going to do. So tell us about, like, when you are committed to do, signed to do whatever, hired to do an opera, how much time is involved and how does that work? Because
I guess it depends on the workload and the role as well. So if it's a smaller role, especially just recently singing Musetta again, I'd done the role before, so it didn't take a lot of time. But for instance, I sang Die Fledermaus for in Perth, Western Australia, and that was a lot of German to learn. Mm-hmm. So that took me about probably 4 months to learn that every day, because that was very, very intense. So it depends. Yes. And also Satyagraha, which, by the way, you did pronounce it correctly in the end, by Philip Glass. That was all in Sanskrit, so we all had to learn Sanskrit for it. So I guess it just depends on the role and how large the role is. And then, of course, when you're away for an opera anyway, you can spend up to a month, 2 months away. Yeah.
Between rehearsals and just everything takes
You've
place.
Got to start rehearsal.
Even though the opera itself might be a week of performances, 4, 5, 6 days of performances, but you could be there for 2 months.
Yep.
I don't think people realize how much time is involved,
Yeah, there's a lot of time involved. It's usually about three weeks for a new production. If it's an older remount, it'll take less time. But we actually just did a remount of Gail Edwards' production of La Boheme, but we were still in rehearsals for a good 3-4 weeks for that. So it just depends. And then quite often I'll sing in concerts, which means that in concert, where you're just standing there either using the music or without music, usually without music, you would only have a week of rehearsal, and that was it. Maybe even a couple of days before. But when you're in an opera, you've got to remember you've got the stage crew, the production team, you've got to bump in the sets, bump out the sets, all that, and then learn all the staging as well. And so it takes a longer time.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm going to play another clip that you recorded with us. This is the famous Conte Partiro.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Remember this?
Solo sogno all'orizzonte, mancan le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce nonostante quanto manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me, su le finestre mostra tutto il mio cuore che hai acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada. Time to say goodbye. Paesi che non ho mai veduto e besato con te. Adesso sì vivrò con te, partirò.
memories. That's right. That's why they call this program Memories of a Musician.
Yes, exactly. Gosh,
Uh,
such great music too. Love it.
yeah. Oh, it was so much fun. We enjoyed every bit of it every time we were together, and whether it was on stage or in the studio, it was always a great fun.
Oh, thank you. I absolutely agree with that. I had so much fun with you and E33 and Lana and all the family.
Oh yeah.
A lot of memories. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So tell me about this picture here. I want to show a few more pictures. This one here.
Oh, I think I've worn that dress a bit. So that dress actually, you don't see the bottom of it, but it's this beautiful dress I got made for the auditions at the Metropolitan Opera before I got to the Young Artist program. So I actually, I probably looked like that when I won the National Council auditions along with 4 other people. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't know where that is though precisely.
How about this picture here? Wow.
So that is my recent Musetta for Opera Australia. And the last show was, so this is, just a couple of days ago. But look at that costume.
Wow.
I believe that there's Swarovski crystals in there. I don't know if it's my costume or whether or not it's the ones in my hair, but they're crystals. Yeah, stunning.
Wow.
So that's Musetta in La Boheme. She's very cheeky.
Yep.
And it was set in Berlin in 1930. So a different take on it, but really, really gorgeous. This is when she walks out into the cabaret.
Okay.
Cafe Mermus, but yeah, amazing. Very lucky. I've been very lucky with costumes in shows that I've done.
Great picture and great. I mean, no one, I don't think I would even know that was you if I saw that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Look at that wig. I mean, beautiful hair.
Yeah.
I think their wig department must cost millions. It's all real hair, and then they set it, and they have to reset it every night. And yeah, and I think individually pull those real hairs through a net.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of hours to do.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can imagine. Expensive too.
Very expensive.
This picture.
Oh,
here.
yeah, she is being very naughty. She's got a cape on, and she's about to sing the famous Quando men vo from La Boheme, which is a great aria.
Yep.
And this is the cabaret scene where she's about to throw a plate on the floor and the waiters have to pick it up. Yeah, she was quite crazy. Yeah.
How about
so
this
much fun.
here?
Oh, this is when she's singing Quando men vo soletta per la via. Yep, there she is. Singing away, being naughty.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's another completely different costume outfit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at those gloves. That microphone, fantastic. Obviously, it wasn't on and it wasn't real, but it was a prop.
Yeah, like the old days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, another one.
Yes, that was the same.
Yeah, golden hair. Great makeup. I have they have an amazing makeup team. And wig and
I can imagine.
Costume. Yeah, an amazing department.
No matter where you go, they must be amazing, huh?
Yes, well,
The makeup.
these ones in particular, incredible.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you probably have some really, I don't know, fond memories, good, bad, and the ugly. You know, in the business when you were in, you know, there's always great stories, and then there's always some that are not so good, and some that are just you don't even want to remember them, right?
Yeah. Well, I've got. Just trying to think of a story. I'm probably going to get off this interview and go, oh gosh, I should have mentioned that. But I've met some amazing people along the way, and still very good friends with a lot of people in New York, because I lived in New York for 20 years. and now I've moved back home to Australia. But I've got many fond memories, and well, especially the moment that I had asked the woman that I was covering if she was ever going to go off. Oh, you're not going to go off, are you? No. And then getting 3 days. This was Anna Netrebko at the Met, and in Don Pasquale, and I had, 3 or 4 days to learn. It was the first time I'd ever sung the role, first off, and it was a big role, Norina, and then the production was remounted. So it was a production they used before, but then they remounted it within a couple of weeks. So I only had until opening night something like 4 days, and I had to jump on the bed, smash plants and pots and throw things, and everything was timed. And
Oh, wow.
then I had to slap the Don Pasquale on stage, and I may have slapped him accidentally a little bit hard. I think it was all the nerves, and I went, oh, and he went, you got me. But the audience were incredible, really responsive, and it was just a really great highlight. So I've got many highlights, but you can be highlights here at the Met, overseas. So I've done a lot of traveling. I've seen a lot of places too. There's still a lot that I wish I'd seen in America, but hopefully I'll get back one day and see the Rockies, and maybe even go up to Canada. I'm kicking myself I didn't go up to Canada more, living in New York for 20 years. But when you're working, you tend to stay home, keep busy there.
I had the pleasure of working with Georgia Fumanti, and she lived she's from Tuscany, but she lives now in Montreal. And so I did concerts with her in Montreal, Quebec City,
beautiful,
Toronto, all over the place, all over Canada. I mean, a lot of concerts with her. However, I have not seen the Rockies.
Right.
In the United States, and I've lived here for almost 74 years, and there are a lot of places I'd like to see in the United States, but I haven't. But when I was touring with different artists in the United States, I've toured all over but typically you go to the big cities, the bigger cities, and I've been all over, but what I want is to get one of those maps of the world, and then put a pin on every city like you performed in. I thought that would have been good, but I never did it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. In fact, it might be good to do, just to get a little cork board and put a big world map and just put little pins on there.
Right.
Because you forget as well. I've been singing over in America since the year 2000. So I was there when 9/11 happened and all that. I've been through so many presidents as well.
Yeah.
So 20 years is a long time in one place, but I got to see quite a bit of America, which has been great, but I'd love to see more. And I've been to Italy. I've never been to Greece. There's many places I'd like to go. We'll have to see.
Did you sing in Milano at the?
No. I haven't sung anywhere in particular in Italy, as far as an opera house there. But I have sung with an Italian friend in his smaller towns in Lanciano and places like that. I've sung with him. Yeah.
Okay.
A working holiday, more of a holiday.
Yeah. So I want to show this one video. This is from about 2001, that the Metropolitan Opera National Council audition winners. So let me.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and you sing with just a pianist accompaniment.
Yes. Yeah. So this aria, if it's the one I'm thinking you're going to show, this is the aria that made me win. This aria changed my life basically by Handel, Da Tempeste, and I sang this in for the competition the National Council auditions, and I won along with 4 other people. And so this is the aria that made me win. And then I was meant to go home. I was meant to go home to Australia, but then the Met called and said, would you like to audition for the Lindemann Young Artist Program? And that's when
Okay, let me play. Let's share this with the audience.
The Metropolitan Opera National Council audition winners on Breakfast with the Arts now continues. Welcome back. For our final winner, it was a long road to the Met. She came all the way from Australia. Soprano Rachelle Durkin is a graduate of the West Australian Conservatorium of Music. She has sung with the West Australian Opera Company, Opera Australia Schools Company, the West Australian Symphony Orchestra, the Perth Pops Orchestra, and on Australian television. Here she is to sing an aria from Julius Caesar by Handel.
Oh gosh, I remember that like yesterday. You know,
It was 24 years ago.
we had to go in there at the crack of dawn. It was 6 a.m. or something, and then we had to get the hair and makeup done, and we were all so tired. And I think by memory, it was the day after we did our competition. So amongst all the hype and everything like that, we were so tired. And I look a bit nervous there, but and also we had a interview live on TV, and I was quite nervous. I remember that very, very clearly.
That's amazing. And you know, as a musician, in playing instruments, you know, of course, I was a brass major when I was in college, euphonium, and you know, you talk about, you hear the voice, of course, is an instrument. And when you hear this, and that footage, by the way, that has to be so precious for you to have that, you know.
It is. It definitely is.
It really has to be, you know. But you know, the voice, what you can do with that voice, it's just unbelievable, you know.
That was always very easy for my voice to run that fast. I don't know. It didn't take me very long, and maybe it was because I would do all that modern, maybe it was born from that I could sing suddenly fast, sing a lot of notes consecutively.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just born with that facility.
Yeah. You were blessed with a wonderful.
Very, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a picture here, that one more picture I was going to show too. I don't think I showed this one here.
Oh, yes. Yep, there she is, wearing that dress with all the crystals on it.
Yeah.
And that's the set behind, and that's at the Sydney Opera House, and that was just last week.
Yeah. Are you on stage there? Is that the set?
Yes. So we had a photo shoot on stage, and
Yeah.
so that's just a selfie from my phone.
Again, I don't think if somebody showed me this picture and said, who do you think this is? I would never have guessed that.
Yep. No, that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
A lot of people say the same thing over about the wig. How can you get all this hair under that
Yeah.
wig? But they have to pin it and roll it up and then make it super flat, and then they put like a cap over your head and flatten it down,
Wow.
and then put the wig over it.
That's amazing. Yeah. They know what they're doing. That's for sure. So let's talk about you singing. I remember the time you were flying over to Hong Kong. You've been there more than once, I'm sure.
I have.
Yeah.
With the
I remember one time that you were going, I don't know if it was this time when you were, when you did the, I think it was like 2006. So it was about that time, because we were doing things, we were recording then and around that time. So this is what you did when you went to Hong Kong that time. And tell us about your experience there, and because it's interesting.
I just love Hong Kong, and I would love to go back. Just so many wonderful places to eat, and all the dumplings, and then the duck and the roast duck, and yeah, beautiful. And I think this was New Year's Eve. If you're going to show that piece with the red dress, I think that was New Year's Eve, a New Year's Eve spectacular or something like that.
But I'm going to show a video of you singing on stage with the Hong Kong Philharmonic. So you'll see the dress there. Let me get this up here. This is video here, right here. Let's share this.
Yes. There she is moving. That's a bit of fun.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed, because I conducted the Shanghai Symphony with Giorgio Fumanti.
Yes.
I think that was in 2010. And that orchestra that I conducted was all Chinese. When I look at this orchestra here, there were there were a lot of Chinese players in there, but there were several players that looked like they could have been Americans or
I'm
Europeans
sure.
or whatever, Yeah, definitely. But because when I did Shanghai, I remember they were all Chinese.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they probably, it depends on the orchestra, doesn't it?
Yes, for sure. So that was pretty interesting. So you went there, and one of the things that I remember when I was in China was the dressing room. Oh my God, it was so laid out, and they treat you so well. And I'm sure you have experience with this too.
Oh yeah, of course. I can't really remember the dressing room there, but I would say that probably the best dressing room I've been in is certainly the Sydney Opera House, because of, like I said, the view, the harbour view.
Yeah.
It's nice not to be in a basement somewhere and with no windows.
Right.
Yeah.
And they.
But I don't have a rider or anything. I don't have to have pink toilet paper or M&Ms. Pink M&Ms. Get the pink M&Ms out. Yeah.
I know.
I'm not that much of a diva.
No, you're not a diva at all, and that's amazing. But you know, when a lot of experiences where we did have riders to the contract that had specific things for food and beverage in the dressing room, and we were, you know, we had a lot of. I mean, and when I was in China, it was unbelievable. I mean, there was no way I could even eat all the food that they brought to me. You know,
Oh,
it was
wow,
all
that's
delicious, but I couldn't.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, and that was always fun in the States when we were on tour with a tour bus, and we would do a concert. We would have all this food in our dressing rooms, and wines and beer and whatever. And you know, at the end of the night, we'd just pack it up, put it on the bus, and then we had food on the bus, and wine and beer and everything else. It was a lot of fun.
That sounds fun. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was. It was really fun.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so I'm going to play. I had this at the very beginning of the show, and I wanted to show your voice as your pop voice and your classical voice.
Yeah.
And the classical piece I'm going to play now, pretty much maybe not the whole piece, but a major part of it. And I wanted the audience to really hear you know, you sing that piece. It's a Handel piece here. And this is from 2005, I believe. And
Yes.
it was at the Sydney Opera House. And
Yep.
so,
Yeah, this was the first show I was singing at the Met. At the Sydney Opera House.
Sydney. Oh, this
My
is
very first role.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and then the opera was the Rinaldo. Huh?
Ronaldo. Yeah.
Okay. Let me play this for the audience. This will be our last video, and then we'll have a little talk after that.
Wow. That
Wow,
was the
that's
very
right.
first entrance that I had. So the very first time you saw Rachelle Durkin was walking down these massive steps in this glorious orange and yellow shot silk costume with this great big long dark wig. And that was the first piece that I sang. That was my entrance.
That was the entrance. Wow.
Yeah, that was the entrance.
That's
I think as an audience member, you'd be like, "Oh, that's a hell of an entrance."
Yeah.
Or she was a sorceress, so
Yeah. It was amazing. That
You needed to be fierce.
Rachelle, you. Every time I hear you, I get more amazed all the time.
Oh, thanks, Vito.
Yeah, and you've
As
had
long as you keep going, I just hope that I get to keep singing in some capacity.
and how, that's a good question. I don't know your age, but I can guess it. But how long do you think that that you could sing? And based on other performers that have stayed in the business for how long? How long?
Oh gosh, it's until you. So long as I'm one of these people who realize when it's time to pack it in, right? That's the real thing, is that you've got to realize, okay, maybe I'm getting a wobble in the sound. You can drive a truck through it, or the voice doesn't feel crisp or clean anymore. But I feel still quite healthy, and it's healthy singing, and
But it's
I
very
believe we got.
strenuous too, no? Strenuous? Very strenuous too.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. Actually, I had to fall on this stage a couple of times, and I got a little bit of a sore knee, but that'll go. It's just repetition that kept happening. So I'm still getting thrown all over the place, and
Yeah, that's another thing.
the knees aren't as good as they used to be.
You should have had them have a little pad there so your knee went on a sock.
Yes, but not when you're wearing a really short dress. you don't want to look like the grandma on stage. No, it's fine. I'm not hurt at all. But yeah, I think the reviews. I don't usually look at reviews. That's another thing. I don't look at reviews, but I believe that they were wonderful. So when the reviews start saying, and when people start saying, when you listen to yourself, or maybe I should get off the stage, then that'll be time. But not yet. I would love to sing more modern stuff still, that crossover popra. I don't think I'll ever get sick of doing that. My first love, all that modern singing.
And I will do my best to get you back to the States. We'll do a couple concerts together or something.
Let's do it. That'd be so much fun. I'd love that very much.
That would be wonderful. Well, Rachelle, it's been a great pleasure and honor to have you on the show.
Absolutely. I've had so much fun.
Thank you.
We could talk for another 3 hours, us.
I'm sure we could. Talk about for sure. But it's been wonderful. And I just wish you all the best for continued success, and just keep singing, and keep taking every opportunity that comes by, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely.
Say yes, girl. The yes girl.
That's right. That's the way it has to be.
It keeps you young. Music keeps you young, and I'm a firm believer of that. My only thing was I wish I learned the piano, but I could still learn the piano.
Yeah, it's not too late.
No.
And when you say music keeps you young, that's why even though I'm challenged right now because of my health issues about playing, and I don't play professionally, but I still makes me feel so good to sit at the piano and just play. And honestly, I hadn't played the accordion in probably 5 years.
Wow.
And just got it out recently and started playing again. And so it's coming back, and I'm starting to make progress. But you're right. It makes you feel so good. It just, I don't know how to describe it. It's hard to describe to somebody that does not play an instrument or does not experience firsthand music, but you've had an amazing career, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks, Vito. Love to you, Alana, and the kids and the grandchildren.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
I'm gonna make sure they watch this episode.
Okay. Bye.
All right, you have a great evening, huh? We'll talk to you soon.
You too.
Thank you, Rachelle.
Bye.
Here, bye-bye. And there you have it, another episode of Memories of a Musician with soprano Rachelle Durkin. Amazing, amazing voice. Looking ahead to next Wednesday, October 1st, we will travel to Nashville, Tennessee to meet my special guest, Tom Perry. Tom Perry has enjoyed an incredible career as a recording engineer, having engineered more than 25 gold and platinum albums with major recording artists who include Boss Skaggs, Earth, Wind and Fire, Diana Ross, The Jacksons, Helen Reddy, Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson, and Denise Williams, to mention a few. So be sure to tune in next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear the memories, stories, and amazing journey of my special guest, Tom Perry. Thank you, and have a great evening.